With the calorie threat finally overcome, Zelaria slowly returned to peace. Caleb, Samantha, Nathan, and Alicia stayed to help rebuild, strengthening bonds between humans and Xylarians. Days passed, and the planet began to heal from the devastation of war. Zelara remained deeply grateful for their courage and friendship. She often joined them during quiet evenings, discussing dreams and future plans for Zelaria. The bond they shared grew stronger, built on respect and understanding. One peaceful afternoon, Samantha approached Zelara with excitement in her eyes. "We found something interesting in the ancient chambers. Would you like to see?" Zelara smiled warmly. "Of course, Samantha." They moved swiftly through the palace halls, joined by Caleb, Nathan, and Alicia. Samantha led them into the ancient chamber beneath the palace, now brightly lit and clean from weeks of careful work. "Look here," Samantha explained eagerly, pointing to glowing symbols etched into a stone panel. "This appears to be a message left by your ancestors. It speaks of peace and cooperation between different worlds." Zelara gently touched the symbols, her eyes filled with wonder. "They knew one day we would unite with others, just as we have with you." Caleb stepped closer, curious. "Does it say anything else?" "Yes," Samantha continued. "It speaks of a portal, hidden deep within Zelaria, connecting to other worlds." Nathan's eyes widened. "A portal? Could it still exist?" "I believe it might," Samantha replied confidently. "We should find it." Excitement spread among them. Zelara nodded with determination. This portal could strengthen ties between Zelaria and Earth, creating lasting peace and friendship. They immediately started preparations. Caleb and General Tyrus selected a small team of skilled warriors. Nathan prepared equipment and vehicles, and Alicia gathered medical supplies. Samantha studied the ancient texts carefully, ensuring they understood where to find the hidden portal. Days later, they began their journey deep into Zelaria's wild landscapes, following ancient maps and clues left by ancestors. The journey was difficult, with challenging terrain and unpredictable weather. But the team moved steadily forward, determined and united. Each night, they shared stories around the campfire, strengthening their friendships further. Caleb learned more about Zelara's hopes for her people, and Zelara listened closely to Caleb's stories about Earth. Their bond grew deeper, built on shared dreams and mutual respect. After several days, they finally reached a hidden valley, untouched for centuries. At its center stood a large, ancient structure, covered in vines and moss but clearly important. "This must be it," Samantha said excitedly. Carefully, they approached the structure. Zelara gently brushed away vines, revealing symbols identical to those in the palace. "It's the portal," Zelara whispered softly. Filled with awe, Samantha quickly began working, carefully examining the ancient controls. Hours passed as she patiently uncovered their secrets, aided by her friends' encouragement and support. Finally, she stepped back, smiling broadly. "It's ready. We can activate it now." Zelara hesitated, looking around at her friends. "Once we open this portal, Zelaria and Earth will be forever linked. Are we ready?" Caleb stepped forward, confidence clear in his eyes. "Yes, this will secure lasting peace and friendship between our worlds." Nodding, Zelara placed her hand on the control panel beside Samantha's. Together they activated the portal. Bright lights surged from the structure, creating a swirling gateway before them. It worked. Nathan shouted, thrilled. Cautiously, Caleb stepped forward, staring into the portal. "We should test it first." "I'll go." Zelara gently placed her hand on his arm. "Be careful, Caleb." "I will," he reassured her softly. Caleb stepped into the portal, instantly finding himself back on Earth, near his farm. He quickly returned through the portal, smiling widely as he reappeared before his friends. "It connects directly to Earth," Caleb announced happily. "This will truly unite our worlds." Joyful cheers erupted among the group. Zelara embraced Caleb warmly, deeply grateful for everything he had done. Returning to Zelaria's capital, news of the portal spread quickly. Xylarians celebrated joyfully, knowing their future was now brighter than ever. In a grand ceremony, Zalara officially declared peace between Zalaria and Earth, honoring Caleb, Samantha, Nathan, and Alicia for their bravery and friendship. Caleb stepped forward, addressing the crowd warmly. "We came here to help, but you taught us so much about courage, unity, and friendship. Together, we created hope for the future." Zalara smiled warmly, speaking softly but powerfully. "Let this friendship grow stronger with each passing day. Together, we will build a future filled with peace and cooperation." As the celebration continued, Caleb and Zalara stood side by side, looking out at their people. United by bonds stronger than any threat, Caleb felt deep satisfaction and joy, knowing their actions had created lasting peace and friendship. Zalaria and Earth would now move forward together, bound by trust, respect, and a shared commitment to protecting the freedom and safety of their people. After their second victory, Caleb, Samantha, Nathan, Alicia, and the Xylarians worked tirelessly to prepare for whatever might come next. The recent battles had brought new confidence, but also taught them important lessons. They knew they had to stay ready and alert. Queen Zalara remained actively involved in all preparations. She moved among her people daily, offering words of encouragement and listening carefully to their worries and suggestions. The Xylarians deeply respected her wisdom and bravery. Caleb spent his days training Xylarian soldiers, improving their combat skills and teamwork. General Tyrus was always by his side, helping Caleb communicate clearly with the warriors. Over time, Caleb and Tyrus became trusted friends, sharing respect for each other's leadership and courage. One evening, Zalara gathered Caleb and his friends in the palace once more. Her expression was thoughtful as she spoke. "We have learned. The Kalari are building an even stronger fleet. We cannot rely only on defense. We must take the fight to them." Caleb nodded slowly, understanding the importance of Zalara's words. "Do you know where they're gathering?" "Yes," Zalara replied, firmly. "Their main fleet is at an outpost on a nearby moon. If we strike there first, we might prevent another attack." Nathan leaned forward eagerly. "We could launch a surprise attack. They'll never expect us to go after them." Samantha looked thoughtful. "It might work, especially if we use the ancient technology. With stronger weapons and shields, we could have an advantage." "Then it's decided," Caleb said confidently. "We'll prepare a strike team and attack before the Kalari can move." Preparations began immediately. Samantha led the engineering team, improving their ships and weapons using ancient Xylarian technology. Nathan trained pilots in specialized tactics for the mission. Caleb carefully selected the bravest Xylarian warriors, creating a skilled and determined strike force. Alicia ensured everyone stayed healthy and ready, preparing medical supplies for the mission. Her gentle care and encouragement kept everyone's spirits high. Even during intense training, the night before departure, Zalara found Caleb alone, staring at the stars outside the palace. She approached quietly, sensing his worry. "You are concerned," Zalara said softly. Caleb turned toward her, nodding slightly. "I don't want to lead your people into danger without knowing we have a chance to succeed." Zalara placed a gentle hand on his shoulder, offering comfort. "You have already shown us your courage and leadership. My people trust you, Caleb, and so do I." Caleb felt warmth from her words, renewing his determination. "We won't let you down, Zalara." The next day, the strike team gathered, ready for departure. Zalara addressed them, her voice strong and clear. "Today, we fight not only for Zalaria, but for all who wish to live free and safe. Be brave, trust each other, and return safely." Caleb and his friends boarded their ship, confident yet focused. Nathan piloted skillfully, leading the fleet silently toward the moon where the Kalari were assembling. As they approached, Samantha activated the stealth technology, hiding their ships from enemy detection. Quietly, Caleb gave orders, ensuring everyone understood their tasks clearly. "Ready?" Nathan asked calmly. "Ready," Caleb confirmed. Suddenly, they appeared in full view of the Kalari fleet, surprising them completely. Nathan immediately launched into action, skillfully maneuvering their ship and striking enemy targets quickly. Xylarian pilots followed his lead, fighting bravely, and officially Samantha monitored the new weapons and shields, adjusting them expertly to keep their advantage. The ancient technology proved extremely effective, overwhelming the Kalari fleet. Caleb and General Tyrus led Xylarian warriors onto the moon's surface, attacking the enemy base. Fighting side by side, their teamwork and bravery were unmatched. Alicia stayed close, providing quick medical care whenever needed, keeping soldiers strong and focused. Inside the enemy base, fierce battles erupted. Caleb moved swiftly, guiding his warriors expertly through tight corridors and open spaces. Each step was challenging, but their training paid off as they pushed deeper into the base. Finally, Caleb reached the command center where the Kalari leader waited. The enemy leader, tall and fierce, challenged Caleb directly. The battle between them was intense, but Caleb's courage and skill prevailed. "You won't threaten Zelaria again," Caleb said firmly, standing victorious seeing their leader defeated. The remaining Kalari soldiers surrendered, knowing their fight was over. The Xylarian warriors cheered loudly, proud of their hard-earned victory. Caleb contacted Nathan, his voice tired but relieved. "Mission complete. Let's head home." The fleet returned to Zelaria, welcomed by joyous crowds. Queen Zelara stood proudly, her smile radiant as Caleb and his friends stepped from their ship. "You have truly saved us," Zelara said warmly, embracing each of them. "You have given Zelaria peace." Caleb shook his head humbly. "You fought just as bravely. This victory belongs to all of us." Together, humans and Xylarians celebrated their victory, knowing their bond was now stronger than ever. They had faced their fears, overcome great challenges, and emerged victorious through bravery, unity, and friendship. After the battle, the city of Zelaria began the difficult task of recovery. Caleb, Samantha, Nathan, and Alicia worked alongside the Xylarian people, helping them rebuild homes, repair defenses, and heal wounds. Despite the victory, Caleb knew the fight was far from over. Queen Zelara spent her days among her people, offering comfort and reassurance. The courage and resilience of the Xylarians amazed Caleb. Even in the face of great suffering, their spirit remained strong. One afternoon, Zelara gathered Caleb and his friends in the palace. Her eyes held worry as she spoke softly. "The Kalari will return. We must be ready when they do. Samantha, how is your work progressing with the ancient technology?" Samantha stepped forward, tired yet hopeful. "We understand it much better now. I can improve our defenses even more, but it will take more time and effort." Zelara nodded. "Then we must give you whatever help you need." Caleb looked at the queen seriously. "Zelara, do you know why the Kalari attack your people so fiercely?" The queen sighed softly. "They desire control of Zelaria's resources. Our planet holds rare crystals, which can power their weapons and ships. If they seize control, they will become unstoppable." Nathan crossed his arms, thoughtful. "Maybe we can prevent another attack by removing their reason for coming." Caleb nodded in agreement. "We should secure these resources, making it difficult for the Kalari to get them." General Tyrus stepped forward. "The crystals are hidden deep in the mountains. They are difficult to reach and heavily guarded, but the Kalari won't stop until they have them. Then we must protect those mountains even better," Caleb declared. Together they made detailed plans to strengthen the defenses around the crystal mines. Samantha would use her new knowledge of ancient technology to create stronger protective shields. Nathan would train pilots in new tactics. Alicia would ensure medical facilities were fully equipped. And Caleb would organize ground forces. Over the following days, everyone worked tirelessly. Samantha guided Xylarian engineers, and soon a powerful shield surrounded the mountains. Nathan flew many patrols, preparing his pilots for any surprise attacks. One evening, Alicia found Caleb sitting quietly on the palace steps, gazing up at the stars. She sat beside him, sensing his deep thoughts. "Are you all right?" Alicia asked gently. Caleb sighed softly. "We have done so much, but is it enough? I worry about failing the Xylarians." "You haven't failed," Alicia reassured him softly. "You've given them hope and strength. That's already a great victory." Caleb smiled gratefully, comforted by her words. The peace was short-lived. Nathan's scouting flight soon reported troubling news. "The Kalari are regrouping," Nathan announced urgently during a meeting. "They're gathering a larger force. They'll be here soon." Zalara remained calm, her voice steady. "We have prepared as best we can. We must face this threat with courage." Caleb stepped forward, addressing everyone clearly. "This is the fight we've prepared for. Remember your training. Trust each other, and we can withstand anything." The Xylarians responded with determination, inspired by Caleb's confidence. Samantha hurried to finish the final adjustments to the shields. Nathan reviewed battle plans with his pilots. Alicia checked medical supplies, making sure everything was ready. As the enemy fleet appeared once again on the horizon, Zalara stood alongside Caleb on the palace balcony. Their eyes met briefly, exchanging silent promises to protect their people. Kalari attack was fierce. Their ships bombarded the protective shields, testing Samantha's improvements. The shields held strong, absorbing the powerful blasts. Nathan's pilots engaged in swift, skillful maneuvers, preventing enemy ships from landing easily. Caleb commanded the ground troops, holding positions around the crystal mines firmly. Xylarians fought bravely, determined to defend their home. Alicia moved quickly, providing essential care to injured soldiers and ensuring they could return to battle. Despite their efforts, some Kalari troops managed to break through. Caleb rushed forward, confronting enemy soldiers directly. His strength and bravery inspired the Xylarians, who fought harder than ever. Amidst the fighting, Caleb noticed a critical weakness forming near the mountain entrance. He quickly organized a small team, including General Tyrus, and led a daring charge to reinforce the vulnerable point. The quick action worked, stopping the enemy's advance. Nathan flew daringly above, chasing enemy ships away from critical positions. His fearless piloting boosted morale among Xylarian fighters. Samantha watched carefully, adjusting the shields continuously, keeping them at maximum strength. Hours later, the Kalari ships began retreating, realizing they couldn't break through the improved defenses. Caleb felt deep relief as cheers rose from the Xylarians around him. Returning to the palace, Zalara met them, her face glowing with gratitude and relief. "Once again, your courage has saved Zalaria," she said softly. Caleb shook his head modestly. "Your people's bravery saved Zalaria, Zalara. We only stood beside you." She smiled warmly, looking at Caleb and his friends. "Your friendship and support have given us strength. Now we know we are never alone." Caleb and his friends looked at each other, proud and hopeful. Though exhausted, they knew the battle was still ongoing. But together, humans and Xylarians stood, united, stronger than ever, ready to face whatever came next. The Kalari ships descended swiftly towards Zalaria, casting dark shadows over the city below. Caleb stood on the battlefield alongside General Tyrus, calmly directing their soldiers into positions. Zalara stood beside them, her face determined. Despite the danger, "Hold your positions," Caleb shouted clearly, making sure everyone heard him. "Stay strong and trust each other." Nathan was already in the air, piloting a fighter ship Samantha had improved. He moved swiftly and skillfully, flying between enemy ships and causing confusion among the Kalari pilots. Explosions filled the sky as Xylarian defenders engaged the enemy, their courage bolstered by Nathan's fearless flying. On the ground, the first wave of Kalari soldiers landed, rushing toward Xylarian defenses. Caleb moved quickly, rallying soldiers around him. Together, they fought fiercely, defending their positions bravely. Tyrus led a separate group, holding the eastern side of the city with determination. As the battle raged, Alicia worked tirelessly in her medical tent, helping wounded soldiers brought to her by brave Xylarians. Her gentle voice offered comfort, calming fears and easing pain. She encouraged local healers, reminding them to stay focused despite the chaos. Meanwhile, deep beneath the palace, Samantha struggled to activate the ancient technology. Her fingers moved quickly over controls covered in dust. Zilara had stayed with her, providing support and hope. "You can do this, Samantha," Zilara encouraged softly. "We believe in you." Samantha nodded, determination shining in her eyes. "I'm close. Just a little more time." Above them, Nathan continued his daring flight, shooting down enemy ships whenever he could. But the Kalari pilots began to adapt, targeting Nathan specifically. His ship took several hits, alarms screaming inside the cockpit. He gripped the controls tighter, refusing to back down. On the ground, Caleb fought with skill and bravery, defending each soldier beside him. He noticed the Kalari pushing harder, trying to break through their lines. Quickly, he called out to his soldiers, "Hold together. We can do this." Xylarian warriors, inspired by Caleb's courage, stood firm and fought fiercely. Even tired and injured, they refused to give up. Back underground, Samantha's hands trembled slightly from exhaustion, but she refused to stop. Finally, she pressed one last control, and the ancient machinery came to life, humming with incredible power. "It's working!" she exclaimed excitedly. Zilara's eyes filled with relief and joy. "Quickly," Zilara urged. "We must use this power now." Samantha swiftly activated the defensive shield around the city. A bright blue barrier surged upward, surrounding Zalaria and protecting its defenders. Above, Nathan saw the shield activate, giving him renewed hope. "Great work, Samantha," Nathan shouted through his radio, weaving around enemy fire with new confidence. Caleb felt relief flood his heart as the shield pushed the Kalari back, giving his soldiers a moment to regroup. He turned to Tyrus, his face determined. "Let's use this moment. Push them back." Together, Caleb and Tyrus led a powerful counterattack, rallying soldiers to advance against the surprised Kalari. With renewed strength and courage, they forced the enemy soldiers into retreat. The Kalari fleet, seeing their ground forces struggling, intensified their attacks. Nathan faced increased pressure, his ship shaking from continuous fire. He fought hard, determined to protect his friends below. But a powerful blast hit his ship, sending it spiraling down toward the city. "Nathan!" Caleb shouted, watching helplessly from below. Nathan struggled with his controls, trying desperately to stabilize his ship. At the last moment, he managed to crash land safely away from the main battlefield. Quickly, he climbed out, slightly injured but determined to rejoin his friends. On the battlefield, Caleb continued leading Xylarian soldiers, pushing the Kalari forces farther back. Tyrus fought bravely by his side, inspired by the humans' courage and dedication. Zilara and Samantha hurried to join the others, emerging from the palace into the chaos above. Zilara quickly took charge, directing more soldiers to reinforce. Caleb's position. Samantha spotted Nathan limping back to the fight. She rushed to help him, relieved he was safe. "Are you all right?" she asked, concerned. Nathan nodded, smiling bravely. "Just a little shaken. Let's get back to helping." Together, they returned to Caleb, joining him and Zilara as the battle slowed. With the ancient shield protecting them and their united strength, they held their positions firmly. Finally, the Kalari realized they could not break through the powerful defenses. Slowly, they began to retreat, their ships pulling back into space. Caleb watched them go, his heart heavy yet relieved. "We held them off for now." Zilara stood beside him, gratitude clear in her voice. "Thanks to you and your friends, Caleb, you have given us hope again." Caleb looked at his friends, proud of their courage and teamwork. This was only the beginning. We must stay ready. Together, they returned to the palace, exhausted but hopeful, knowing the fight was not yet over. But for now, Zilaria was safe, thanks to bravery, friendship, and unity. Caleb's ship landed carefully near Zalara's palace, sending clouds of dust swirling into the air. The ramp lowered with a hiss, and Caleb stepped out first, breathing in the strange air of Zalaria. Behind him, Samantha, Nathan, and Alicia followed, their eyes wide with curiosity and cautious excitement. Queen Zalara approached them gracefully, her robe shimmering softly in the sunlight. She stood tall and dignified, yet Caleb saw deep worry in her blue eyes. "Welcome to Zalaria," Zalara said warmly, her voice gentle yet firm. "I am Zalara, and this is my trusted General Tyrus. Thank you for answering our call." Caleb bowed respectfully. "I'm Caleb. This is Samantha, Nathan, and Alicia. We're here to help." Zalara smiled softly, relief clearly visible on her face. She motioned them toward the palace, and together they walked past weary soldiers and frightened civilians. Zalara explained the desperate situation as they entered the Great Hall. "Our enemy, the Kalari, grows stronger each day," she said, her voice tight with concern. "Our defenses weaken, and soon we won't be able to protect our people." "Tell. Use everything," Caleb urged gently. "We need to understand the enemy and your defenses." Zalara and Tyrus laid out detailed maps describing their enemy's ruthless methods. The Kalari attacked swiftly and without mercy, destroying everything in their path. Caleb listened closely, his military instincts quickly assessing the situation. Nathan, the daring pilot, pointed at the maps, his eyes sharp. "We need strong air defenses to hold them off." "What do you have in the air?" "Very little," Tyrus admitted sadly. "Most of our ships were destroyed. Only a few remain, but they are damaged." Samantha nodded thoughtfully, a determined glint in her eyes. "I can help repair them. I'll make them stronger faster." Zalara's eyes brightened slightly, and she looked to Alicia. "And your skills?" "I'm here to heal," Alicia said with gentle confidence. "I'll set up a medical area right away." Zalara's shoulders relaxed a little, clearly reassured by their presence. "You bring us hope," she whispered. Softly days passed quickly as everyone worked tirelessly. Samantha spent hours repairing damaged ships, teaching Zalara's engineers new methods to improve their weapons and shields. Nathan trained the remaining pilots, showing them daring maneuvers and boosting their confidence. Caleb organized soldiers, strengthening defenses around the city and palace. He worked closely with Tyrus, earning the respect and trust of the Xylarian warriors. They admired his calm leadership and determination. Meanwhile, Alicia created a busy medical station. She trained local healers, showing them new ways to treat wounds quickly and efficiently. Soldiers and citizens alike found comfort in her kindness and skills. One afternoon, Samantha discovered something unexpected deep beneath the palace. It was a hidden chamber filled with strange technology, ancient and mysterious. She quickly called Caleb and Zalara. "Have you seen this before?" Samantha asked Zalara, excitement in her voice. Zalara's eyes widened in surprise. "Legends speak of powerful devices left by our ancestors, but we thought it was only a story." Caleb studied the ancient machinery carefully. "Can you use it?" he asked Samantha. "I think so," she replied confidently. "But it will take time to understand it completely." Zalara stepped forward, her voice firm. "We don't have much time. Please hurry, Samantha. This might be the answer we need." Samantha worked day and night, learning the ancient secrets while Caleb and Tyrus continued preparing the soldiers. Nathan flew scouting missions, watching carefully for any signs of the approaching Kalari. Finally, one evening, Nathan burst into the palace, his face tense with urgency. "They're coming," he shouted. "The Kalari ships are moving towards Zalaria now." Everyone quickly gathered in the Great Hall. Caleb stepped forward, calm but decisive. "We have trained hard and we are ready. Trust your training and fight bravely. We will hold them off until Samantha can activate the ancient devices." Zalara nodded, her voice strong and steady. "Together, we will defend Zalaria, Our hope lies in our unity and courage. The palace filled with the sounds of hurried preparations. Soldiers took their positions, and Nathan ran to his fighter ship. Alicia prepared her medical station, ready to receive the injured. Samantha remained focused, determined to unlock the power of the ancient technology. Caleb and Zalara stood together on the palace balcony, watching the horizon. They could see the dark shapes of enemy ships approaching swiftly, bringing destruction with them. "Do you think we can win?" Zalara asked softly, her voice barely more than a whisper. Caleb turned to her, his expression confident. "We will fight with all our strength, and we will do our best. I believe in your people, Zalara." She smiled softly, drawing strength from his words. "Thank you, Caleb. Your faith gives me courage." They stood side by side, ready to face whatever came next, determined to protect Zelaria and its people. Zalara stood quietly on her palace balcony, looking down at the once beautiful city now filled with broken buildings and frightened citizens. Her blue eyes filled with sadness as she saw families struggling and warriors limping back home wounded and exhausted. Zalara was their queen, and it was her duty to protect them. But now she felt helpless. "My queen," a voice spoke softly behind her. Zalara turned around and saw her trusted general, Tyrus, standing at attention. He looked tired, his green skin dull with worry. His armor was battered from recent battles. "Tyrus," she said softly, trying to appear strong, "tell me honestly, how bad is it?" He took a deep breath, his voice steady yet filled with sorrow. "We lost many today, my queen. Our soldiers fight bravely, but the enemy is too strong. Without help, we won't survive." Another attack. Zalara nodded slowly, her heart heavy with sadness. For weeks, her planet Zelaria had been under attack by a ruthless enemy known as the Kalari. They were powerful and relentless, leaving nothing but ruin wherever they went. "We must send a message," Zalara decided firmly. "We must ask for help." "From the humans," Tyrus hesitated. "Humans? Do you believe they will come? They have no reason to help us." "We have no choice," Zalara replied softly. "If we do not try, we will lose everything." Hours later, Zalara stood before the great transmitter in the palace communication chamber. She spoke clearly, her voice calm yet desperate. "To the people of Earth, my name is Zalara, Queen of Zelaria. Our world is under attack, and we cannot hold much longer. Please, we need your help. We beg for your assistance." She finished her message and stepped back, feeling uncertain but hopeful. Now all they could do was wait. On Earth, far from Zelaria, Caleb wiped sweat from his forehead. As he tended to his crops, he had left the military years ago and now enjoyed a peaceful life farming. But sometimes he missed the excitement and honor of being a soldier. That evening, Caleb relaxed on his porch, staring up at the stars. His radio, which he always kept nearby, suddenly crackled with strange noises. Curious, he leaned closer and adjusted the knobs. To the people of Earth, a gentle yet desperate voice began. "My name is Zalara, Queen of Zelaria." Caleb listened closely, his heart racing. He had never heard anything like this before. An alien queen was asking humans for help. Her voice touched something deep inside him, reminding him of his days, fighting to protect those who could not protect themselves. The next day, Caleb traveled to meet his friend Samantha, a talented engineer who lived nearby. Samantha looked surprised to see him but welcomed him warmly. "Caleb, it's been too long," she said, smiling. "What's brought you here?" Caleb explained Zelara's message, describing the desperation he heard in her voice. Samantha listened carefully, her eyes thoughtful. "Do you think it's real?" she asked. "Unsure? It sounded real," Caleb insisted. "And I can't ignore it. I think we should help." Samantha hesitated for a moment, then nodded slowly. "All right, Caleb. If you're sure about this, I trust you. Let's do it." Together they began preparing. Samantha quickly called Nathan, a daring pilot known for his fearless flying, and Alicia, a kind-hearted medical expert. Within days, their small team gathered, determined and ready for the journey ahead. Caleb stood in front of his friends, feeling a mixture of pride and responsibility. "We're going to help Zalara and her people," he announced clearly. "It might be dangerous, but they need us, and together we can make a difference." His friends nodded, understanding the risks but agreeing with his words. They boarded their ship, hearts filled with courage and hope. Back on Zalaria, Zalara anxiously waited. Days passed, but no response came. Her people grew more fearful, and she felt her hope fading. Each moment without help meant they moved closer to defeat. "Maybe I was wrong," Zalara whispered to Tyrus, doubt creeping into her heart. "Maybe humans will not help us." "We must keep faith, my queen," Tyrus reassured gently, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You did all you could. Now we must trust." Suddenly, the palace alarm sounded. Zalara rushed to the balcony, her heart pounding with fear. She saw ships approaching from space, their shapes unfamiliar. "Is it the Kalari again?" she asked nervously. Tyrus shook his head, pointing upward. "No, my queen. Look." The ships were not the enemy. They were new, bearing symbols Zalara did not recognize. Then a voice came through clearly on the palace speakers. "Queen Zalara, this is Caleb from Earth. We heard your call, and we're here to help." Tears of relief filled Zalara's eyes as she whispered softly, "They came." Her people began to cheer below, hope finally returning to their faces. Zalara stood tall once more, determined to lead her people with renewed strength. Together with these brave humans, they might still have a chance to save Zalaria.